Welcome to What the Tech, the show where we slice right through the marketing nonsense. Today, we are talking about a new gadget that claims it's going to revolutionize your eyesight. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get into it. So let's kick things off with this pretty wild claim from Nico Iden. He's the CEO of a brand new eyewear startup, and he's basically saying that for decades, your glasses have been, well, dumb. He's betting his entire company on the idea that he can change that. The company is called IXI. They're a Finnish startup, and their big product is a pair of so-called autofocus glasses. Now, they might look like your average specs, but they're being sold as the first real innovation in vision correction in more than 60 years. So what is the big idea here? What's the pitch? Well, it's pretty simple. What if your glasses could autofocus, just like your phone's camera, instantly changing their power depending on what you're looking at? A world with no compromises. Sounds good, right? Okay, so what problem are they supposedly fixing? Well, it's varifocals, or progressive lenses, you know the ones. They try to cram multiple prescriptions into one lens, and it's always a bit of a kludge. You get this tiny little corridor of clear vision, and everything on the sides is just a blurry, distorted mess. It's why you see people wearing them constantly aiming their nose at whatever they're trying to read. And here's where XI claims to be the hero. They're promising a huge reading area that just appears when you need it. The rest of the time, the entire lens is just for your distance vision, clear as a bell, like a regular pair of glasses. No more tilting your head around, hunting for that one sweet spot. And listen, this is not some garage Kickstarter project. IXI has pulled in over $40 million in venture capital. That tells you one thing. This is a serious, high-stakes play for the very top end of the market. So that's the shiny pitch, a revolution for your eyes. But is it really? Or is this just a classic case of tech bro over-engineering for a problem that we'd already kinda solved? Okay, let's get real and dive in. All right, let's start picking this apart. The first and maybe the biggest issue is right there in their core marketing, the analogy. They keep comparing these glasses to the autofocus on a camera. And that comparison, well, it's just fundamentally wrong. See, a camera's autofocus just controls a little sensor to make a single static picture, a photo. Your visual system, that is a whole different universe. It's your eyes, plus the supercomputer in your skull constantly making millions of tiny adjustments to create your seamless, continuous, lived reality. The idea of slapping a clunky digital autofocus system on top of the most advanced biological one in existence is, let's just say it's questionable. And this leads us to the next very, very obvious problem. You are putting a battery-powered computer on your face and making your most important sense, your sight, completely dependent on it. What could possibly go wrong? But before we get into all the ways this can fail, if you appreciate commentary that actually cuts through the hype, do us a favor and hit like and subscribe to What the Tech. And for real, tell us in the comments, would you actually trust your vision to a battery? Okay, so think about it. Standard glasses have, what, one point of failure. You sit on them. That's it. These things, they introduce an entire galaxy of new problems. What about the lag? What happens when the battery starts to die after a couple of years? What happens if you get caught in the rain? You are literally trading a simple, robust tool for a fragile piece of electronics you have to charge every single night. And here it is. The classic tech CEO handwave. Even the CEO admits their fancy liquid crystal lenses have their own distortions. But don't worry, he says, the majority of the time they will not be visible. I mean, come on, that single phrase should be setting off massive alarm bells for anyone who has ever bought a first-generation product. Because the reality is, our vision is incredibly sensitive. A split-second delay as the lenses shift, a weird little shimmer as the liquid crystal activates. These aren't just minor bugs. Over a whole day, that stuff can be exhausting, disorienting, it could even make you feel sick. Which brings us all the way back to that first claim, the idea that there's been zero innovation in eyewear. You know what that is? It's a convenient myth. It's a story you tell to make your product seem way more revolutionary than it actually is. The truth? The industry has been innovating, just not in some flashy, put a battery in it kind of way. We've gotten incredible new lens materials that are thinner and lighter. We have amazing coatings that are almost invisible. We have custom digital lenses that are milled perfectly for your exact prescription and frame. These are real, meaningful improvements that help millions of people see better. No charging cable required. So if this isn't really about a lack of innovation, what is it about? Well, When you zoom out, you realize these glasses are just the latest product to come out of a very tired, very predictable playbook, the Smart Everything Playbook. You know this playbook. Step 1, take a simple, reliable object that just works. Step 2, cram it full of sensors and software. Step 3, make it fragile, battery-dependent, and probably proprietary. And the final step, slap a big price tag on it and sell it as the future. We've seen it with smart fridges that won't give you ice because the Wi-Fi is down. We've seen it with smart toothbrushes that need a firmware update. And now, that exact same logic is being applied to something as basic and essential as seeing the world clearly. So when you strip away all the hype, IXI's glasses are just another perfect example of Silicon Valley's obsession with taking a basic human function and making it dependent on a complex, fragile, and proprietary system. It is a solution desperately searching for a problem, all wrapped up in a futuristic bow. And that is our take. Thanks for joining us here on What the Tech. We'll see you for the next one.